Everything just changed. Charles Oliveira spoke up about a rumor, adding a layer of truth to it. And if this is true, then I really didn't see this coming, and I want to talk about it. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. This is MMA 365, the greatest UFC news YouTube channel. So be sure to subscribe, especially because Yuri Prohaska is seeking a bottle of Coca Cola from the convenience store owned by Chris Barnett. One of the good bottles of Coke in the glass, the cane sugar. But Chris Barnett is holding the Cokes hostage. The only way we can resolve this situation is if you hit that subscribe button. 95% of you are not subscribed, so if you're a regular watcher of my content and you enjoy my videos, then please consider hitting that subscribe button. It helps me out. Thank you. So I want to talk about this. Charles Oliveira had an interview, and he said that Alex Pereira will probably not be fighting Cyril Gane at the UFC White House, and that Alex Pereira will be getting a much bigger fight. And well, I think there's only one name: Jon Jones. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. But if this is true, this is what we're gonna get. I really don't understand why the UFC keeps trying Jon Jones in 2024, 2025, especially now, 2026. This is someone who, on record, said that he has arthritis in his left hip. This is someone who hasn't fought in more than a year. I just don't see what the end goal is with bringing Jon Jones back this year. I mean, he hasn't fought in so long, and I know that he has star power, but I have to ask, why? Why has the UFC made their bed with Jon Jones, and now they have to lay in it? This is not someone who is a very high character. This is someone who's unreliable. This is someone who has PED suspensions, arrests, everything that you don't want in an athlete to represent your sport is what Jon Jones is. But for some reason, Dana White can't quit on this guy. I really thought, I really did, thought we were done with him. I hope that my sweet prince, Charles Oliveira, is wrong, but I'm afraid he might not be. Regardless, as for Alex Pereira, I do think moving up to heavyweight is the right move for him at this point in his career. Just because, go for the records, man. And you have a once in a lifetime opportunity to become a champion in three separate divisions. Just do a dirty bulk and move up to heavyweight. Um, what I really don't understand, if Charles Oliveira is talking about Jon Jones here, who I really don't know who else he'd be talking about, but if the UFC gives Jon Jones a belt in any capacity, interim, the regular heavyweight championship, he's not gonna fight again. He's not gonna defend the belt, right? He's not fighting Cyril Gane. He already did. And he most certainly demonstrated that he's not fighting Tom Aspinall. So I just don't understand what the goal is here. And what especially frustrates me is the UFC should be promoting the fighters that they already have. The fighters like Cyril Gane and Tom Aspinall, and especially Alex Pereira. I mean, we fans of the sport love this guy, but um, how much casual appeal does he have? If someone's like tuning into the UFC for like the first time, or maybe they're at a sports bar or something, Alex Pereira is the exact kind of fighter that they want to see. And I really think that the UFC should be doing everything in their power to maximize Alex Pereira's star power, not Jon Jones. So set up Alex Pereira as a champion in three separate weight classes. That would be an insane and fully deserved accomplishment. especially if Alex Pereira does beat Cyril Gane. Um, I really think the UFC needs to be promoting the fighters on their roster rather than trying to chase the glory of fighters like Jon Jones or Conor McGregor or the Diaz brothers. Um, because, yeah, I mean, this organization is supposed to be the pinnacle of mixed martial arts. There are entertaining fighters on the roster. They just need a little bit of a push. Dana White, you're a promoter. You said in court you have no role in matchmaking anymore. Your job is to promote fighters. That's why you are on payroll at this point. So let's do some promoting, man. Give me some like video campaigns. Give me some like cool hype videos. Don't just don't just resort to Jon Jones, man. I just don't think it's a smart move for many reasons. But anyways, we do get the privilege of watching our sweet prince Charles Oliveira this weekend. So I want to talk about that. Fighting for the BMF belt against Max Holloway. This should be a banger. And yeah, this is the kind of fight where I'm conflicted, right? Because I want Max Holloway to win, then that means Charles Oliveira loses. I want Charles Oliveira to win, but that means Max Holloway would have to lose. Um, but I really do think Max Holloway is perfect for the BMF belt because a big part of Charles Oliveira's game is his grappling, but I just don't know because it is the BMF belt and seemingly it's about what the fans want. If Charles Oliveira stands and bangs, then he's not winning. He needs to incorporate grappling and takedowns, but I just don't know if he's inclined to do so because it's for the BMF belt, right? I mean, I think, you know, they're going to point at the ground at some point. If it does go to 5 rounds, you already know, with 15 seconds left, Max Holloway's pointing at the ground. Charles Oliveira could shoot a takedown at that point, but no one would like that. So that's just my concern with Charles Oliveira here is I think that the game plan that works best for him he might not necessarily choose to do it for the sake of the BMF belt. So for that reason, I do think Max Holloway will win this fight. As for the rest of the card, I mean, it does kind of fall off. The UFC did have a TBD versus TBD co-main, and then they just slotted up Kyle Brallo versus Rainer de Ridder, which I really do think is a fine co-main. The main problem is having Raul Rosas in a featured fight, but that's neither here nor there. And I like this as a rebound for Rainer de Ridder. I really do think he just kind of overexerted himself by trying to fight 4 times in 1 year. I mean, kind of insane. Rainer de Ridder is massive. He's like 6'4" and buff. Like, I have no idea how he cuts to 185 pounds, much less 4 times in 1 year. So I really think that the time off is especially to Rainer de Ridder's benefit. And as for Kyle Brallo, he's not really a specialist in anything. I know the fighting nerds are good at coming up with game plans, but I think Rainer de Ridder's combination of size and grappling, or at least like landing knees to the body, I think that would be too much for Kyle Brallo to overcome. And then as for the start of the card, I'm excited to watch a RoboCop Gregory Rodriguez. Always a good time. He's also someone who weighs 185 pounds for like 0.1 seconds when he steps on the scale. I have no idea how he makes that weight cut. Gregory Rodriguez versus Bruno Ferreira. Both of these guys are Rodriguez is ranked, Ferreira is just outside of the rankings, but this is a chance to show for either of them that they're legit and they deserve a step up in competition. RoboCop got quote-unquote fraud checked. I don't really like that term here, but I can't think of a better one, by Jared Cannonier not too long ago. And Ferreira, he's on a tear right now. So Brazilian versus Brazilian should be a fun fight. And then Drew Dober versus Michael Johnson. Everything in me tells me to pick Michael Johnson here. Except except for the voodoo, crowning October. Historically, Michael Johnson is a kind of win one, lose one fighter, but maybe this is his ascension arc. Who knows? That'll conclude this video for now. Be sure to subscribe so that Yuri Prochazka can get his Mexican cola from Chris Barnett. Very important for you to hit that subscribe button. Thank you for watching.